welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacquelyn Lopez, and today I have the first of what I hope to be many macrame DIYs. Now we are starting with this very simple macrame plant hanger. And I want to remind you to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you are notified every time that I post a new video. The supplies you are going to need are some macrame rope. This is 3 millimeters from Michaels, and a pair of scissors. The cut length is going to be your desired length plus the length of the planter plus an excess. I did mine at 6 inches. You're going to do twice that, and you're going to cut a total of 4, which will give you a total of 8 strands because we are going to fold it in half, and this will be our hanger. Now here we are going to do a very simple knot at the top, and to make sure that it's secure, we are going to pull individually each one of our strands, and you'll see how it made it tighter. Now we are going to take our planter, and this is a small one I'm going to be using. Now we need to measure where we want our first knot to be. That's why I set the planter next to it. That's going to be my marker of where I'm going to do my knot. You're going to grab 2 strands that are next to each other, and we are going to do our very first knot. And again, this is a very, very simple knot, much like what you would use to tie your shoelaces or make any kind of knot. Again, pull tightly. Make sure that the top 2 strands are tight next to each other, and then we're going to do the same to the next 2. Again, always choosing ones that are next to each other, and you're going to do that to all 8 of the strands, combining 2 and 2 together, and that'll give you a total of 4. And make sure that those 4 knots are next to each other. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once the planter is inside of it, you won't be able to tell that much, but it is important that they are as next to each other as possible. Once those 4 knots are completed, I do lift up my macrame just to make sure that everything does sit correctly. It does help if you do this hanging up, but for the video, I'm having to do it this way. Now you're going to grab 2 of your knots so that you're going to combine those by the 2 middle strands. Again, make sure that it's exactly where you want it on the planter, and that they are, again, 2 strands that are next to each other, because they will need to connect in a circle. Once you make your first knot, again, make sure that it sits correctly on your planter. And then you're going to move on to the next 2 strands that are next to each other. Tie, again, a simple knot. And then you're going to connect those 2 to complete a total of 4 knots on your second row. In total, you're going to end up with 8 knots, and it'll create kind of this webbed design. And you can carry on as many as you want, doing 2 and 2 and 2. Again, because I have a small planter, this is all the knots I need. However, keep in mind that every knot that you do takes away at the length. So if you want a lot of knots, you are going to have to cut a lot of excess. Because I was doing just 8, that's why I only allotted for 6 inches each, which made a total of 12 inches, again, because it was folded in half. Once you have all of your knots completed, set it back in with the planter, again, just to make sure everything sits nicely in there. And then we are going to do a knot at the bottom like we did here at the top. So just do a simple knot, and then we're going to individually pull at each of the strands to make sure it's secure, but don't do it until you have, again, made sure that your planter sits nicely. The last thing you want to do is make it really secure and then have to undo it. Now the bottom, you can finish it however you would like. I went ahead and put my planter back in to see if I liked kind of this look of it being uneven, and I decided to trim them all to the same length because that's what I have in the current planter I have that I bought from Hobby Lobby. And that's where I got the idea to do my own. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do some tassels at the bottom, and I'm going to do it with the same macrame ribbon itself. If you see here at the bottom, it does unravel, and it'll give you kind of an own little tassel. And then I'm going to brush them off with this pet comb that I have that I never used, and that'll give me kind of my tassel look. I'll show you right here how we achieve that. That's one tassel, and you're going to do it to all of the strands, and that's the look that I ended up with. And that's it. Very simple, very easy. Again, I did mine small because of the planter slash vase that I'm using. I'm not even going to use mine with a plant. I'm going to be adding an LED flameless candle and use it more as a lantern. You can make this as big or as small as you would like. And I do have a quick tutorial over on my Instagram stories of how I hung up this planter hanger from Dollar Tree. And I also have some tips on watering your plants if they are in a hanging macrame planter. So make sure that you are following me over there for more DIYs, tips, and tricks. I'm going to leave that linked down below. Leave me a comment if you think this is a DIY that you're going to try and recreate. Thank you so much for watching. Have a very good rest of your day. Bye-bye.